Welcome one, welcome all to the Downloads YGT, also known as Your Guide to. It's our how-to in a box that's quick to pick up and gets you up to speed on big things in the gaming world. I'm your host, Jimmy Wong.
What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Emma Fife, also one of the hosts of the show, and we are so glad to have you here today. Everyone here on the show felt like it was high time that we stood up to the doom and gloom around us, and this is how we're doing it.
We're going to be here all the time, so you know what that means. Please, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That's right, I'm talking directly to you. I don't know how you're watching me right now, but there's probably a place for you somewhere on your screen to click follow or subscribe. You might even be on your phone. In that case, wow, Emma, we are tiny.
Or maybe we're coming to you on a screen of like an actual TV, which is still pretty small, all things considered, if you think about like IMAX screens or like those screens in the King Kong part of the Universal Studio Tour. But anyway, if you're a boomer YouTuber like me, there will probably be a little notification bell too. So be sure you click it. And, you know, we're going to just keep talking whether or not you get notified when we're talking. So why don't you just get those notifications, you know?
Yep, and as a community, this show is built on what all of us, including you, recommend. So please comment, message us, tell us what you're interested in, and we're gonna put it on the list. And then based on the total aggregate number of thumbs up or likes or basic user engagement metrics, let's see, what else are we gonna use to...
Then I swear by the sacred Jedi texts that we will make an episode about it.
Whoa, okay, Emma, that's a pretty serious oath, but it's true. Yeah. I swear by them too, because apparently anyone can just say whatever they want these days and no one will notice.
I'm sure they'll forget if we don't get around to it. Hey, we can't tell all the secrets in one day though, so let's get right into it. Today, it's your guide to speedrunning.
That's that sound effect, you know, or the...
Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
yeah.
Whatever. All right, let's kick things off with a real quickie of a wiki. It's the Wikipedia. So, yes, Emma, why don't you let us know what speedrunning is in a sentence?
Quickiest of wikiests explanations of speedrunning, which is the art and competition of playing through video games as fast as you can. There are speedruns for basically every game you can possibly think of, and there's lots and lots of different ways to do it.
Yeah, you've got traditional speed runs that use glitches in the game, pixel perfect program runs, there are perfectionist runs, blindfolded runs. Whew.
But keeping track of all that? Nah, that's not our thing. YGT is here to give you the bite-sized primer to a part of the gaming world that you might be interested in.
And here today to help us out, we couldn't imagine a better representative. She's the 5-year host and master of ceremonies for Games Done Quick. Please welcome Kasumi Yogi. Hey, Kasumi.
Hey, everybody.
Yay, we're so proud. Awesome Games Done Quick just ended, and it was a completely different event because it was all online. But you raised over $2.75 million for the Prevent Cancer Foundation.
Yeah, it was definitely a doozy. It's still surreal that it's over. We've been prepping for it for so long, and now that it's over, I'm just like, oh, what do I do now? But actually, we're already preparing for the next event, so.
Oh, wow. What is that next event?
The next event, well, our next GDQ event, our next main event will be Summer Games Done Quick 2021. Dates soon, TM.
Ooh, awesome. We'll make sure to keep note of that. Before we dive in, though, because we've got a lot to set the stage with, let's give a little brief history. So 3 games, in my eyes, were essential to speedrunning, which is Doom, Quake, and Super Metroid. And speedruns started to get documented online in 1994 following the release of Doom, which allowed players to record their playthroughs, and inspired other players began doing the exact same thing for Quake. And then one of the most infamous techniques that was invented was the rocket jump, which was this technique where a player would fire a rocket at their feet, jumping and boosting themselves to areas that were previously unreachable.
Speedrunning has captured the imagination and creativity of gamers worldwide. It's got so many ways to bring players into this super flexible realm of gaming. Sumi, I want to know from you, like, what made you interested in speedrunning in the first place?
Well, like most people, I think what drew me into speedrunning was watching the speedrun. So
yeah,
back in the day when I was pretty isolated. I lived in Hawaii. It was very far from a lot of the gaming spheres. A friend would send me videos of speedruns, and one of the speedruns that is one of the most legendary ones is Morimoto's Mario 3 Task, which is a different kind of speedrun. He sent that to me years after the speedrun happened, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And ever since then, we would watch speedruns together. We started watching games done quick together. We would watch classic games done quick together in 2010. And then I just from then on, I was just in love. And I found Speedruns Live, which is one of those websites that you had mentioned before, where people can race each other online in pretty much any game. And I've been hooked ever since.
And
now, I think speedrunning, there's often like a barrier of entry because people can seem like, well, it's really daunting. I don't know what's going on. So let's talk briefly about ways that you can get involved as a viewer or a player, of which you're both. What would you recommend if someone wants to start watching speedrun? Is YouTube their option? Is Twitch? Where should they go?
They should really go anywhere. I would say it depends on what game it is. I would say follow the community. There are a lot of speedrun communities that have their own unique Discord. I think it would be pretty easy to Google, speedrun and then the video game to find it. You can also watch on YouTube and Twitch. You can watch runs. That's actually how I learned how to speedrun Donkey Kong Country 2. I went and looked up speedruns from my friend Reflected, and I would basically copy what he did in his speedruns to learn how to speedrun the game myself. Also watch events. There are a ton of speedrun events that happen throughout the year. And if you really want to get into like the deep details of speedrunning, I would say to pick up a book by one of our GDQ staff, which is called Speedrun Science. This book is amazing. I actually didn't read it until years into it came out years into my career with GDQ, but it filled in all of the gaps for me because I didn't join GDQ until 2014. So that's 4 years of speedrun history that I wasn't around for. Like, I was only there as a spectator and as a fan, but there's like so much information. Like, you could see I like tabbed all the information. And, this book has taught me a lot. It taught me about the history of speedrunning, and it taught me a lot about how to actually speedrun, because he's definitely like a scientist. So he approaches it scientifically.
Yeah, because there is a tremendous amount of like planning and strategy and creativity that goes into speedrunning, which I think is one of the things that makes it so appealing. So again, you were interested in speedrunning. How exactly did you get involved with GDQ?
So I had been volunteering as an admin for Speedruns Live, which is that website that I mentioned earlier. And I think I started volunteering sometime between 2010 and 2011. Or maybe it was 2011 and 2012. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. But basically, I'm the kind of person that always wants to help. And if there's something that I see like, oh, maybe we can do this, then I will jump in and say, hey, is there anything I can help with? And that actually happened with GDQ as well. So I had a lot of friends that I had made through speedrunning on Speedruns Live. And I went to my first GDQ ever in person. I had been watching them the whole time, but I went to my first GDQ ever in summer. So Summer Games Done Quick 2014. But beforehand, I had actually asked one of the staff members, Rom Scout, I said, hey, I noticed that you don't really have like sponsors for the event or anything like that. Is there anything I can do to help with that? Can I help secure some extra prizes? And he said, oh, that'd be cool. Awesome. Let's get something started. So he put me in communication with some of the teams, and then I worked out some cool sponsored prizes like custom fight stick and a custom headset that had GDQ graphics on it. And ever since then, they basically said, wow, that was cool. Can you do that all the time? So I've been a staff member ever since.
That's amazing. And we're going to dive really deep into GDQ and what makes it such an amazing event. But before we move on, we're going to challenge everyone here, including you, Sumi, to a little trivia question. So, Emma, what do we got on dock today?
That is right. Today's trivia question is, what is the fastest glitchless speedrun of Ocarina of Time? And this is multiple choice. Okay, here are your options. Is it A, 17 minutes, B, 5 hours, C, 11 hours, or D, 2 days? 2 days.
2 days is my fastest glitchless speedrun.
That would probably be my fastest as well, quite honestly.
Mine would
this is
definitely be
tough.
longer than 2
Sumi,
days.
what do you think?
What do you think the answer is, though, Sumi?
Wait, do you want me to give you the answer?
I mean,
I
yeah,
assume
if
that
you could
do
guess.
know the-
Even if
listen,
you
okay, I'm
know,
all
it's
for you
okay. Our
sharing
audience is
it.
guessing along too.
Okay, well, I think the answer is B, 5 hours.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well,
interesting.
Everyone watching along at home, we hope you have made your decisions because the answer is B, 5 hours. Sumi, how did you possibly know? It's almost like you do this all the time. Yeah, 5 hours was the absolute fastest Ocarina time run until speedrunners found some new glitches in the game and they exploited them, and boom, they could finish the whole thing in 17 minutes. That's a glow up if I've ever seen one.
Dang. Dang. Okay, let's get back into it and talk a little more about Games Done Quick. It's had such an incredible evolution over the years. I mean, Subi, you were talking about how when you got involved, they didn't really have sponsors and you were just kind of looking for a way to help. And by our count, has now raised more than $17 million for the Prevent Cancer Foundation and almost $13 million for Doctors Without Borders. So we've talked a little bit again about sort of the history of Games Done Quick, at least your personal history. And you said that you volunteered there for a number of years before you actually got involved. They've been around since 2010, is that correct?
Yeah, so they've been around since 2010 with Classic Games Done Quick, which was based off of the format of a marathon by the Speed Gamers, who also borrowed the concept from Loading Ready Run's Desert Bus for Hope. So
Yeah.
it's definitely been a while. CGDQ started off as 2 days, and then they raised over $10,000 for charity. And then the next year they did it again. They did Awesome Games Done Quick, which was 5 days, and then it raised even more money, and they added Summer Games Done Quick the same year, and the events grew exponentially with each additional one.
Yeah, that's
How would
amazing.
you say, like, what would you say has been sort of the biggest change that you've observed in all the years that you've been volunteering and working with, or even just watching GDQ?
So I would say, okay, GDQ has grown in a ton of different ways, but the thing that has changed the most is probably the ratio of the audience being speedrunners versus speedrun fans. There's definitely a lot more people that come to GDQs to watch their favorite speedrunner or their favorite game, as opposed to people who come there specifically to speedrun.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Did you guys have to obviously adapt for the pandemic? Do you think it's been better for better or worse as we've seen the events move entirely online digitally?
I'd say that it's become better overall. There are definitely challenges that come with moving an event entirely online. We have the speedrunners running from their homes, but we've learned that we can operate an event with runners, from basically anywhere as long as they have internet. And we've been able to show off some amazing runs that may not work at a regular GDQ, like Pump It Up or Half-Life Alyx, like those VR runs. But we do miss meeting up with the rest of the community in person. We miss our friends, the speedrun community is like our family, right? So
Yeah.
we miss them so much.
That's
And
actually something
we
I
also
wanted
miss
to talk
the
about.
amazing. Yeah, we miss the
Because
amazing,
with
pumped up feeling from the audience.
Yeah, well, because speedrunning 1,000% hinges on the strength of its community. I mean, you were saying that if you want to get into speedrunning a particular game, yes, you should absolutely look up videos of that game being done as a speedrun, but also just like getting involved with the communities that all kind of collaborate to optimize how you play these games.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, it's really cool going to a GDQ because you see all of the different communities for the games meet up with each other. You see people hugging and you see them saying like, nice to meet you. Oh, I like good races and stuff. Like that feeling of community, like the big overall speedrun community meeting up from all over the world that's just the feeling that I will never get tired of.
Yeah, going to conventions and having seeing just everyone cheering for you behind and making all those jokes that come up too. All right, so let's do some quick hits here. Sumi, what was your favorite moment of the weekend for Awesome Games Done Quick 2021?
For me, it would definitely be the Super Mario 64 blindfolded speedrun. That speedrun
was so good.
That was
amazing.
wild.
Right? I mean, just imagine, doing 16 star. 16 star has a lot of glitches in the game, but being able to do them blindfolded. Like when I walked to SM64 with he did cannonless without being able to see anything. That's amazing. I can't do that without a blindfold on, like I can't do it reliably without a blindfold, and he can do it with a blindfold on. So I thought that was amazing.
That's the thing that's so crazy to me about watching speedruns. To me, it's people like playing a video game at the optimal level. Like it just takes so much strategizing and practice. And during this year's Awesome Games Done Quick, there were actually 2 records set for Sonic back to back. Is it rare for there to be such sort of like huge news hits coming out of GDQ? Because obviously there's a lot of sort of pressure when you're performing on the stage, like the whole speedrunning community.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Mitch Flower Power also set a world record at this event. I think that might be the world record for the most world records at a GDQ event. But overall, we've had a handful of world records, but they don't really happen often because we usually ask runners to use safety strategies so that we don't end up losing an entire run if they do happen to die without saving. And those safety strats do take time. So we do ask them to be a little bit more careful.
Okay, one more thing I really wanted to ask about. I know that you used to do speedrunning as well. You actually played a little bit of Super Mario Maker 2 at like Grand Pooh Bear sessions. But the thing that I've seen you do most at AGDQ and GDQ is sing. And you've sung Snake Eater at GDQ a couple of times. You've sung Frozen, Let It Go. What is the story behind you and your incredible voice?
It's definitely a funny story because when before I did any incentives for singing at GDQ, basically what happened was after we were done, I think it was Summer Games Done Quick 2017, we were all super tired. It was probably like 3 a.m. there and we're all tearing down and stuff. But I'm just like, Maddie, please let me sing some karaoke. And so basically he's like, yeah, sure. So the tech team was super nice to me and they're like, all right, cool. So they handed me a mic, they put the reverb, and then they played the instrumentals for Snake Eater because that's the song that I wanted to sing. So I went around and I just like ran around the stage like belting out the song, and I'm singing it and I'm enjoying myself, and I'm just like, oh, this is so awesome because like I love singing, and for me, like my lifetime dream is to sing the theme song for a video game, and I also love Metal Gear Solid, right? So so I belted out the song, and then I tweeted out, yes, Matt, let me sing on the in-house PA system for FGDQ. my event is complete. And then I got some responses that said, oh, we definitely heard that. And what happened was that we forgot to turn off the feed that goes to the hotel room. So you can watch GDQ from the hotel room, and we didn't turn that off. So every single person that had the TV on in their hotel room heard me singing Snake Eater. There was just a black feed, no visual, and just me singing Snake Eater.
Wow.
And then a couple of people were like, oh, well, that was pretty good. Why don't you suggest that as an incentive? I'd donate for that. And then actually the next event, Metal Gear Solid 3 made it in. So I reached out to the runner and said, hey, would you be interested in offering this as an incentive? And Jaguar King, who is like one of the nicest and also a fantastic Metal Gear Solid speedrunner, he was also at our last event as well. He was like, yeah, sure. And I guess that's where everything started.
Wow, what an honor. I can't wait to hear it live someday, Sumi. I'm very much looking forward to that.
Same. Also, you saying that he's one of the nicest, I can't stress enough how like lovely everyone I've ever encountered in the speedrunning community has been, including you, Sumi. Thank you so much for joining us today. I could talk to you about this for, like, this could easily be like a 4-hour podcast, but totally. We do need to wrap things up. But Sumi, where can people find you online?
You can find me online, tweeting about my mistakes on twitter.com/Sumichu, Sumichu. You can also find me on Instagram doing pretty much the same thing, as well as posting stories of my cats. And you can also find me on Twitch streaming whatever I feel like at the same URL.
Awesome. Well, we hope this has been an informative and awesome intro for everyone watching to speedrunning. And if there's anything that you want to hear a guide to on next, well, let us know in the comments below. You can message us, join us on Discord, and above all, make sure you subscribe, hit the follow button, ring that notification bell, smash it so you can catch up on all the gaming updates and videos from VENN. And one final shout out, Emma and I aren't alone in this endeavor. We have a sister channel, VENN Esports, as well as Guest House. And VENN Esports is going to be covering AGDQ in depth as well on their channel. You can find the links to all of that, as well as to Sumi's amazing performances and other things below in the more info box below. And also, don't forget to check out our official VENN social media channels. See you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching the download. Make sure to check out the full episode on VENN.tv, and you can check out more of our greatest moments ever on YouTube over at Watch VENN. You don't want to miss it.